did mention that tweet by Emmett Macfarlane. Let's take a quick look at that. Yeah, so this guy is a professor at the University of Waterloo here in Canada, and he tweets, "Burn Congress down before letting Trump try to appoint anyone to SCOTUS, Supreme Court of the United States." You're a professor. You're not even an American. Can you go to a fake apology? A tweet is fake apology. Why would you say that? You of all people would know it's the president's duty, obligation, responsibility, right, and only the president's to nominate a justice. And it's the Senate's job and no one else's to approve or disapprove. Why would you say burn it down if they try to? Why would you say that? You're supposed to be a thoughtful professor. You're supposed to be above the mob. He's not even an American. And then look at this. Look how pitiful this is. 3 ironic apologies. That's the Chinese translation. I love that word in Chinese. I don't know how to pronounce it in Chinese, but in English, the translation of the Chinese phrase is ironic apology. I'm sorry you were upset. There's 2 ways to say I'm sorry I did this. That's a real I'm sorry. I'm sorry you're upset. I'm sorry to have offended you. That's not a sorry, that's an ironic apology. Let me read the ironic apology by this loser. Last night, in the context of the RBG news, I tweeted intemperately about rather seeing Congress burned down than seeing Trump appoint another SCOTUS judge. I don't think any reasonable person would see a burn it all down tweet as a call for violence. To be clear, it wasn't. You weird liar. You didn't say you would rather see Congress burn down than see Trump appoint another SCOTUS judge. You used the imperative tense. Go. Burn it down. You didn't say, if someone were to burn it down, I would prefer that. Would you really? That's just as bad, but he's even lying about what he said. Look at his next tweet. But far-right personalities are now agitating people to inundate my employer, calling for my head. So while I'm tweeting to reinforce what I think was the obvious, obviously, when I said burn it down, I didn't mean burn it down. I mean, obviously, and I regret the firestorm. See, I don't regret what I said. I regret the firestorm. I won't succumb to a fascistic cancel campaign. Okay, so you didn't do anything wrong. All you regret is the firestorm. By the way, I haven't seen anyone agitating people to inundate the employer calling for... I haven't seen that. And let me know if someone's done that. I haven't seen it. And obviously I didn't mean what I wrote. And hey, they're trying to cancel me. You fascists. This is not an apology. He is not apologetic. He's also lying about what's happening to him. And he's trying to claim he's being canceled. Cancel culture is when you're fired for your opinions. When you are threatening violence against the President of the United States, that's not a political opinion. That's threatening violence. I can assure you if that was a right-wing professor saying that about Obama or Trudeau, they would be visited by the RCMP or the Secret Service. Let's go to the 3rd tweet in his ironic apology. His 3rd tweet in the ironic apology was just as dumb. That will be my only statement on this. I've locked my account. I may end up quitting Twitter. No, please, no, don't. No, come back, man. Come back, man. Don't do that. To avoid the headaches I sometimes create for myself by tweeting before thinking. But claims I was advocating violence are disingenuous, and Twitter mobbing is a real problem. Hey, guys, the real problem is people being mad at my Twitter mobbing. I get to Twitter mob Americans, whip them up into burn down. I get to speak violently on Twitter, but you are the mob for criticizing me. What a man of low character. You know, every once in a while I say something I regret. And I'm very stubborn, so I don't like to admit it. I like to joke. I apologize once a year whether I need to or not. That's a joke. It's like saying I get a haircut once a year whether I need to or not. That's a joke. This guy should pick a lane. Either you're apologizing or you're not. Clearly, he absolutely stands by what he says because he won't even characterize it accurately. He's sorry for the firestorm, not for what he did. He's name-calling others. He's saying the Twitter mob is not his own call for violence, but other people, and he's lying about a call for his head. I've read 100 tweets about his call for violence, and I haven't seen anyone say contact his employers. He's a liar. He's a low ethics, low morality liar. But more to the point, if you were spending 20 grand a year, whatever it is now, to send your teenage daughter to University of Waterloo to learn something, would you want her in this asshole's class so he can shout and scream at her? There's another tweet he did, I think I tweeted it this morning, where he's talking about Mitch McConnell. Again, you're a Canadian, what are you doing? But Mitch McConnell has a job under the Constitution to confirm or not confirm senators. It's just his job. If you don't like it, study the Constitution, which is allegedly Macfarlane's job. I think I tweeted it with a comment this morning. Yeah, you could see, so Ben Jacobs says McConnell just released a statement. President Trump's nominee will receive a vote on the floor of the United States Senate. And I'm just going to quote the 4 words by this professor, and then I'm going to quote his reply. His first comment is, and I'm sorry, I'm going to swear here, he says, fucking piece of shit. That's what he says about McConnell. And then he gets some reaction, obviously, so then he says, and yes, I speak as a professor of political science. It is an irrefutable empirical fact that McConnell is a piece of shit. Could you imagine being in this rage-filled maniac's class? You're a 19-year-old co-ed, you're away from home for the first time, you're a grown-up, but you're also still a teenager, you're away from home, you got friends, you're in a dorm, but you're still not quite 100% grown up. And you have this professor, and I don't know if he screams when he says this, but his tweets feel like they were written in screams and shouts. Fucking Mitch McConnell, oh fuck, 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 fuck. It's irrefutable, he's a fucking piece of shit. And he proudly puts his imprimatur that he's doing this in his capacity as a professor. Would you want your 19-year-old daughter in that offensive oafs class? I mean, forget about the fact you're not going to learn anything. You're just going to hear him politically masturbate all day and try and shock people with his profanity. I hear that the kids like to swear. Yeah. Put aside the fact you're not learning anything, you're getting a bunch of propaganda. Would you feel safe having your daughter in that guy's class if your daughter had a point of view that disagreed with the professor? Not a lot of Canadian college students are pro-Trump, I'm guessing. Maybe it's only 20%. But if your 19-year-old daughter supported Donald Trump or Mitch McConnell, even just for debate's sake, even just for argument's sake, would you feel safe having that odious, foul-mouthed, tirade-making buffoon teach your daughter? One of the things in college, it's been a while since I've been a student, was you go to class, but then you maybe have meeting hours where you can meet your professor and ask for advice about this and that. If you were a parent of a 19-year-old student, would you want her to meet this tyrant in his office? I wouldn't. That's Emmett Macfarlane, who, by the way, is a Trudeau advisor, it will shock you to learn, and a CBC pundit, it will shock you to learn. That's an excerpt from my daily TV show that I do live at 12 noon Eastern Time. We talk about the news of the day, we play interesting viral videos, and most importantly, I take your questions that you chat to me through YouTube Super Chat. I think that's the funnest part of it. So tune in every weekday at 12 noon Eastern Time, only here at rebelnews.com.